need to go? You need a minute, a drink or anything?
Nope, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Don't want to dive right in if you're not ready for it. Alrighty. So just a quick recap. We were talking through our recap from last session, so I'll give it to you guys real quick. So last session, you guys woke up the next morning and basically went and had your meeting with Duvessa Shane, which is kind of the whole reason you were there in the first place, to kind of become protectors of Icewind Dale, kind of getting paid to kind of solve problems and do stuff and try and make things better. And so the biggest thing that she had kind of your first mini assignment was to head up to Targos, because she had just had a meeting of all the speakers from all the speakers of 10 towns, and she confirmed her worst fears, which is that these people are indeed making human sacrifices in some of the 10 towns in Targos, Dugan's Hole, and Goodmead. And so she basically said she could understand Dugan's Hole and Goodmead because they're like small backwater towns, and one of them just lost their speaker, so they're vulnerable and things like that. But she was having a hard time understanding why Targos would do that, because Targos is one of the bigger towns, so they shouldn't have had the same pressures or concerns or anything like that the other ones did. So the speaker there basically tells her that it's the will of the people, and that's what he's doing, and he doesn't like it, but that's what he's got to do, because otherwise they'd mutiny or throw him out or something. And so she doesn't quite believe it, so she wanted you guys to go take a look. And then Helen Trollbrain, who is basically a retired mercenary, kind of tagged along to the meeting because she's got her little pet project of trying to make a red line diagram, a red line poster board tracking all the clues together, and she's obsessed with the idea that all the murders that have happened recently are connected. And the evidence she gave is that, let me see, make sure you guys are on this map. Yeah. So basically, the evidence she gave is that the first murder that was reported happened in East Haven. The next one happened there in Bryn Shander, and then she just heard of another one in Targos that is kind of progressing. And so she thinks that she knows that a caravan called Torg's Caravan, it was basically following the same path. So she's obsessed with the idea that it has to be someone who's in the caravan or have something to do with the caravan, and it's there. Also, all the people who got murdered were from places that do human sacrifices and all this stuff. So she's got all this theory, and so she basically asked you guys to go to Targos as well, because that's where the most recent murder happened. So she's asking you guys to go and see if you can learn about who got murdered, because she's only heard rumors so far. She was able to do a lot of digging into the murder that happened in Bryn Shander because she was there, but she hasn't really heard much from Targos. She just heard that there was a murder that happened a couple days ago. So the main reason you guys left Bryn Shander was basically as assigned from Duvessa Shane, trying to basically look into why Targos is doing human sacrifices, and then from a side part of that, or a major part of that, is to look into the murders that are happening and try and snoop around and see what you can learn about who was murdered and why, and see if you can either prove what Helen Trollbane is saying is true and maybe track down the murderer, or disprove her, and she's just grasping at straws. And then on the way from Bryn Shander to Targos, a blizzard came and kind of whited you guys out, and you took shelter in a mine and ended up taking out a Yeti and saving a dwarf in the process. And so when we last left, you guys had kind of just made it to the gate of Targos. So we'll go there, and you kind of had dropped the dwarf, left the dwarf with the gate people, the gate guards, and they kind of took him off to be healed somewhere, and you guys kind of had to figure out what you were doing next. So I'll recap again with a quick description of Targos, because I know we were wrapping up when I gave that to you. So like Bryn Shander, Targos is encircled by a wooden wall, which helps protect the town against orcs and other threats from the wilderness. The wall extends out into the lake, creating a safe harbor for the town's boats. But now the extended winter here has frozen the water in the harbor, and many of Targos' boats are trapped in the ice. Fishers must drag their smaller vessels across the ice to get to the unfrozen lake beyond the harbor walls. Almost all the towns in Icewind Dale make their living off the lake, the various lakes, but nowhere is that fact more evident than in Targos. The town has always had the biggest fishing fleet and the biggest fishing industry. and everything that goes on here revolves around hauling in the knucklehead trout out of Mayor Dweldon, the lake there. The seemingly endless winter makes the work harder, but it gets done nonetheless.
Not by us.
I'm not
We kill.
I'm not
Turn it over
dragging
to
a
you guys.
fucking boat. Are you kidding me?
See what you guys think you want to do. So you basically just kind of just killed the Yeti. It's probably late afternoon-ish, maybe getting a little bit or later on in the day, and you basically help the dwarf make the rest of the trip from the cave to here and kind of handing him off, and then you're kind of hanging out at the gate, and I'll leave it up to you guys what you want to do next.
There's been a murder.
I'm gonna slowly twirl my mustache.
Which one's the main tavern? The Luskin Arms?
So
I was just
the
about to
Luskin
say,
Arms is the inn, Three Flags Sailing is a tavern, and then Triglio is the general store.
Well,
I assume
as
the
you know,
taverns are the best place to get answers, and maybe spiderwebs too, just if I need to intrigue.
well, I
you
was
all.
gonna say, regardless if it's the best place for information, it's the best place for my new town ritual, which is to get a drink as soon as possible.
I don't like that.
that's a great ritual.
Helps me acclimate.
Not too
That's
shabby.
perfect. I mean, the best place for good gossip anyway would be the local tavern. So
Yeah.
And I will
would
remind
certainly
you
head
that
there.
I always look for a back door, so when we do come upon the inn, I'll be at least making a lap around it.
When we get to the inn, I'm gonna very quickly sneak to the front door and write back door on it. That way we can just walk right in. We can save the
That would fool me.
save the 20 minutes that it takes you to go around. You know, just,
That would fool me.
What is it? What does he need to roll to make sure he's successful?
That's so good.
this cran looks fresh.
It needs to be a 20 for dress to see
Yeah.
through.
Oh man,
That's so good.
that's
Oh,
so good. All right. Well, you guys are headed on your way up to the Three Flags Sailing. Before you get there, you kind of walk through this town center here in the middle on your way up there. Yep, right there. So as you kind of making your way across the town over the tavern, you notice kind of a small crowd gathered around. You can see kind of a pole sticking up in the middle of the grounds, and there are some people walking around. As you kind of approach, you can kind of notice that most of the people kind of have their head down. They're trudging around almost like they're avoiding looking at the pole or what the people are looking at. But there are some people who are kind of standing around the pole. You can't really see there's enough people to block what's going on there, but you can kind of see a bit of a crowd there.
Crowds, not my favorite.
I want to see what's on the pole.
Yeah, I do wanna understand this poll,
Yeah.
but I don't
So
want
as
to
you
ask
guys
anybody.
Push through the crowd. We push through the crowd and kind of make our way closer to get a good view.
So as you get closer, the people part a little bit so you guys can see, and you see a woman there who is basically tied to the pole. She looks a little blue to the skin. You can kind of tell that she was basically frozen to death. It looks like she's probably been there for a couple days. And you hear locals standing by, kind of talking amongst themselves, and they're kind of various grumblings. But you pick up some things like she should have been taken down long ago. I don't know what speaker narrative is playing at, and then or why she's still here. Basically, is disgraceful. And you hear another guy basically saying, I know what you mean. It seems like things have been going downhill for a few months. I thought this was supposed to help. These sacrifices doesn't seem to be doing much. And then some people are more angry than others and kind of shake their heads and walk away, and kind of some are kind of milling around waiting for something to happen.
I ask
I wanna
just
ask
a
who she
passerby.
was.
Yeah. I want to ask a passerby how long she's been up and what she did.
Oh, the days all blend together here. It must have been maybe 2 or 3 days. she must have drawn the short straw in the lottery, and she was the human sacrifice chosen. It's they suppose there are there are less humane ways. It's maybe you could say it's one of the most humane ways to do it, but I disagree. Leaving somebody out there to freeze, I suppose it's better than. They say it's like falling asleep, but it's still it rubs me the wrong way.
Who makes the decisions? Is it the speaker who gets picked?
Yeah, the speaker, the lottery is certainly kind of coordinated by the speaker, but they say that his right hand man Scath is the one who kind of takes the running of the lottery and make sure everyone gets a fair shot at it, that it's as even as can be.
Where are these guys now? I think I'd like to have a visit with them.
Oh yeah, the speaker Nerth. Everybody knows he took up a room in the inn, in the Luskan Arms. Yeah, he basically took the biggest suite there as his residence rather than having a house of his own. So he lives there. You'll probably find him there, and yeah, I bet Scath there. Well, maybe you don't, but you can best find him at the inn or at the tavern for sure. Likes his drinks, that one.
Well, me too.
Well, I say Scath seems like the right choice to start with. So
You guys want to cut the lady down, or like
That would
ask
seem-
ask who
Yeah.
knows her?
yeah, maybe if there's some family and we can notify and then maybe bury her somewhere.
Yeah, we could like we'll probably stir shit up if we do that.
That is true.
Hmm.
You trying to
We
stir
like
shit
to
up?
stir shit up. How bad do you want it? Let's stir it up.
And then, yeah, someone takes out one of his daggers and cuts her free.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can
Uh,
tell the
I
people.
wanted to ask like who ask around
Oh,
the crowd,
right,
like
right.
who's
My
her
bad, my
family
bad.
or who knew her.
Someone was about to do that, and then Broly's like,
Oh,
"Well, hold up, bro."
all right, no, you got it. It's like
Oh
pause.
yeah.
I thought you weren't gonna.
Yeah, and the town people, seem very thankful. They know they've all been kind of, you can kind of tell some of them, at least the ones who've hung around who aren't like averting their gaze, kind of wanted to do it, but were a little afraid of the repercussions. But now that you've kind of stirred them a little bit and kind of gotten them over the hump, they're all very appreciative, and they thank you sincerely, and they know exactly what to do. They take her away. You kind of hear them mention, yeah, there's not much we can do for her. It's not like we can bury her with the ground as hard as it is, but we'll give her as peaceful a rest as we can. And they basically take her off towards the town hall and kind of take her away.
Well, good. That
Are
seems
they gonna
reasonable.
cleanse her with fire?
I was gonna say like part of me wants to burn everybody, but it's probably a little too nutty.
Burn everybody? All of them?
I turn and cast burning hands on the crowd. Like a Homelander, everybody.
Spoilers.
I should say
And then I quickly look over and say, "Hey, now's not the time, man. Maybe later. Let's talk to this other asshole first, and before we burn them all."
what
But
do you guys think?
I say we make our way over to the tavern and have a little chat with what's his name? Scath.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Wonderful.
All right, so you guys make your ways over to the Three Flag Sailing, just there, kind of close to the docks. It seems like fishers come here for a long day, after a long day, for a bowl of stew and a quick pint before heading to bed. The atmosphere is pretty subdued when you walk in. The fishers are
Is
cold
there a
and
back
tired
door?
and pretty much unsure about Icewind Dale's future. The tavern is run by a plump gray-haired widow named Ethan Yarborough, better known as Ma. She kind of fusses over the fishers as if they were her own children. So she's kind of you get the impression very quickly as you see her. You walk in, you see that she's kind of treating them like her own, and you can tell that she actually cares and she's doing her best when you walk in.
Does she appreciate the adjective plump?
Oh, she's too old to care about that kind of thing. She's been around for a while, so she's certainly not trying to turn any heads.
Big-witted.
She's big boned.
The roundest.
The roundest. Yeah, we got some things in common.
I definitely approach the bar. I need a drink, as is my tradition.
She says, "Oh, hello. I haven't seen your faces around here. You look like you're pretty thirsty. It seems like you've had a bit of a day so far."
You could say that. I've been traveling for a while and wouldn't mind a cold drink.
Sounds good. We'll take a seat at the bar. These lot won't bother you. Their bark is way worse than their bite, and all the fishermen are kind of chuckle a little bit, and she knows that they know her very well, and so they know that she's just kind of poking at them a little bit.
I laugh way too hard, way too late.
They were all kind of good-natured laughing, and then you kind of catch them off guard, and they kind of like flinch a little bit, and then kind of go back to their drinks a little bit. But one of them sitting next to Silnan kind of nudges him and says, "Hey, what are you guys in town for?"
There's been a murder.
Oh yeah, we heard about that. I don't know too much about it, but I heard it was old Terran, the shipbuilder. He was. What has it been? 3 days since he was murdered. Yeah, it's very sad. We all liked Terran. He was a good fellow.
The
Didn't have any
shipbuilder.
enemies, then I assume. Yeah.
No, not that I heard. I could think of. He was a pretty good sort. I can't imagine him having too many enemies around here.
Interesting. Any strange folks in town other than the
Us.
current strange folks? Yeah.
Literally us.
I point.
To be fair, we
I
just
point at
showed
somebody
up, so.
else. Anybody else.
We heard that someone drew the short straw outside.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah,
How long has that been going on for?
That's a sad bit. It's been what, a couple months that we've tried this so far. They keep. It's only our second time we do it. So they say it'll help once a month. On the full moon, they draw straws and they sacrifice someone. It's supposed to help, and I have a hard time believing it, but they say it's supposed to fix whatever the heck is going on out there. And then a guy down the bar a little bit says, "Yeah, I know what you mean, but surely I know it feels like maybe the fish are biting a little bit better. You never know. Maybe the next one will make a big difference." And they all kind of scoff, and you get the general idea that general consensus is that that it is. They're all skeptical, and if anything, they don't necessarily agree. But it is tough going. You can tell that these people are on their last leg. They can't think of much else to do, but they don't necessarily like it.
We hear that Gath hangs around here a little bit, and he's kind of the one who calls the shots on these things. Is he around here now?
I haven't seen him here recently. He should be here pretty soon. He usually rolls in about this time, so I bet if you hang out for a bit, he'll probably show up. And as Ma hears you guys talking, she can't. She was cleaning a glass, but she says, I was going to hold my tongue, but I'll say what these guys are too bashful to say. It's terrible. I can't believe that sacrifices aren't doing anything bad for me. I can't even believe that that people around here would stand. A couple years ago, if this had happened, it would have been a totally different story. We would have run them right out of town. Anybody who suggested such a crazy thing like that.
And who did suggest it? I say in a weird lizardly way.
Well, now that you mention it, there was this druid who came through a while back who seemed to be ranting and raving. She
I know the type.
she She kept going on and on about the Frostmaiden and how she was the one behind all this winter stuff, and that if we sacrificed people to her, that she would stop and she would be appeased. But I thought we chased her out pretty well, but it seems maybe the speaker believed him, and is basically telling us that we should give it a try because nothing else is working. But it's got to have something to do with that. He won't give us a straight answer, but yeah, he's telling us that it'll work or it's going to work, but it's got to have something to do with that frost druid a while back.
I want to ask more about this druid. Like, are they still in town, or did they leave?
No, she's long gone at this point. Must have been several months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. What was her name? Oh, it's slipping my tongue.
Do we have anything that will help her remember people?
Do we need to bribe her? Do we need to give her a drink, or what's up?
I'll remember it, dearie. Just give me a minute. Sometimes my memory takes a little bit to come back.
Damn it!
Driver's frantically looking through his notes.
Shut up, dearie.
What was her name? Shit.
Well, then we better have another drink while you think about it.
Drink while you think.
Oh, he is frantically looking through his notes.
Yeah. Vernus. Vernus was her name. That's right.
Vernus.
It was Vernus. Yeah, she came in spouting her nonsense, and I know some people were listening, but at that time we were pretty confident that she was spouting crazy nonsense. But time passes, things don't get any better, and people start grasping at straws, and I'm sure I would understand. They thought back to the suggestion and kind of ran with it and maybe let it get a little bit out of hand.
Who is they? That is this the speaker that kind of took the.
It's hard to
took the
tell.
bait?
Nobody's stepping. It doesn't seem like anybody's really stepping up to stop him. But yeah, basically, I would say the speaker is the one who's basically helping, and his scath is the town militia leader are organizing the lottery and trying to. They say they're trying to make it fair, and doing a lottery this way is the way they've kind of chosen to do it. So it's impartial, but I have to wonder. What maybe they're doing behind closed doors. It certainly doesn't seem right.
When's the next lottery, or where do they plan this?
So it's basically once a month on the night of the full moon. They get together in town hall and draw the straw and see whose name gets drawn. Everyone prays it's not them or their family, but obviously for one family it's only our second one. But I can tell it's already taken a toll on morale.
Yikes.
Could someone volunteer as tribute if someone gets picked and they don't want them to be murdered?
That's a good question. Nobody's really tried that yet. I'm not sure what the speaker would say, but it certainly could be worth a shot to have somebody who's maybe lived a good life or something give themselves up. But we'll see. I don't know that it's really come to that. I sure wish it would have been, other than that poor young woman. But yeah, I don't know.
Did the speaker or Scath ever give you a reason before to not trust them? Is this out of character for them?
I've always thought that Scath seemed a little off, a little too harsh as a leader of the militia. But it's hard to tell. It's certainly a difficult job. Yeah, Nerith has always rubbed me a little bit the wrong way, but he seems to. People seem to like him in general. He seems to kind of know his way around things and knows how to get things done for our town in general. So it's hard to tell. They've never. I don't necessarily see them as a pair of extra helping hands around doing a whole lot, but things seem better than worse. So I could certainly. It's hard to complain, but as bad as things are now, you never know. What things would have been different with different people around.
Where can we find him? Or was this already answered?
Yeah, they basically Scath. In theory, Scath should be coming around pretty soon. He usually comes and visits the tavern about this time, and And then you guys know that the speaker, Nerith Maxildanar, his room, he basically his residence. He's taken up the largest suite in the the Luskin Arms, the inn in town, as his residence. So he lives there. So you can almost certainly find him there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we'd hang around for a little while.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Drink for a
So
while.
you guys hang out, have another
So
drink or
back
two. The fishermen kind of strike up
In front of the Google speakers.
conversation with you. They're telling stories, and you overhear one of them telling how he heard one of his friends got attacked by this lake monster up in Bremen. It's a rumor that you guys have kind of heard before. I'm not sure if you guys want to hear more about it, but you hear him kind of over telling his buddy, "Yeah, I swear it's true." They say he tipped over his boat and took a big chomp out of it. It looked a little suspicious to me, like he cut a chunk out of his boat for a story, but it's not the first time I've heard something going up in Bremen.
How big of a beast?
Oh, it's hard to tell. Some say it's as big as an ox. Some say it's just a little lake snake going around. But
Lake snake.
it's hard to tell. And I don't know that many people who have seen it in good light have come back.
So it's a lighting thing.
It's dark pretty much all the time here.
Yeah, so if we get some bad lighting, we'll be fine. It's the good lighting that's bad.
Yep. Well, you guys are talking to him. Scath comes bursting in, and he kind of busts in and says, "Hey!" Like he's expecting a cheer from friends, and everybody kind of grumbles. He clearly doesn't get the reception that he was expecting.
Not
But
much warm welcome for this asshole.
Yeah, doesn't seem to bother him too much. He kind of saunters up to the bar and says, "Hey, Ma, how's it going?" And she says, "Oh, you know, we're just getting by, doing our thing here." He says, "All right, well, put another one on my tab and make it quick."
Stepped away. Is this Scath?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So he's kind of looking around, just hanging out, minding his own business. He thinks he owns this bar. He clearly knows the people in it. He's looking around. He does a double take and notices a couple of newcomers. He says, "Hey, haven't seen you lot around here before. What brings you to town?"
There's been a murder.
We're sacrifice consultants. I don't know.
No, I wanna ask him.
LLC.
I wanna say, like, I have a friend named Vernus. I was looking for her. Have you seen
Nice.
her around here?
Ernest. Oh, the crazy old frost druid?
I don't think she's crazy.
Well, she seemed out of her mind to me. The way she was ranting, raving about some ice maiden supposedly pulling the strings and causing this here winter. She did not seem like she had it all together to me.
Well, it seems like y'all took her pretty seriously. If you're, from what we hear, sacrificing some folks. You know, seems like she might not be that crazy if you're
Yeah,
taking
seems a
her
lot
advice.
crazier to be sacrificing people.
Well, you know, it's business is business. It's the speaker says, and I do.
Business is business.
this
How's
guy
this
sounds
business?
like a real piece of shit. You know, I can't wait.
Business my ass.
Well, you know.
I set my drink down extra hard just so he knows that I'm
Oh yeah,
listening.
yeah, nice.
Well, you know, if you guys don't want to end up on the list, I know a way to get you out of the lottery.
Ah,
If you
okay.
were to slip me a few coins here, I know that I could make sure that your names don't come up.
How much do I have to pay to make sure you're on the list?
Yeah. Trust
Oh.
me, man. If I'm slipping you coins, they're going to be in your throat. So let's talk a little bit nicer here.
I'm pretty sure my name isn't going to end up on the list, if you know what I mean. But
How about we
Yeah.
don't slip you any coins and the sacrifice stuff stops?
Yeah, give us a real good explanation as to why you sit here and tell us that you think this druid is crazy, yet you're following. You're doing what she asked.
hey, here. The speaker is who the speaker is. I just follow the orders. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just the one who gets told what to do here. I collect
You're just the
my
guy that
paychecks
works.
and I go home.
You just work for the bad guy. And don't say no.
Where is
Class.
this
Maybe you
speaker anyway?
you should
Can,
take us
can you
to
take
the
him to us?
speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me finish my round here, and we can go talk to him. I'll show you.
No,
I,
you're
I
not
pushed
gonna
his
be.
I push his beer. I grab his beer and chug it, and I say, "You're finished. Let's go."
Oh, let's go! That's awesome.
Nice. Get him, Andy.
That's so good.
He's clearly a little ruffled. He's not used to people in town standing up to him. He's used to kind of being the top dog around here. But he says, "All right, tough guy. All right, I'll take you. You know, you're almost as
Nice.
tough as the blue-eyed guy the other night that I met in here. He seemed to be pretty curious. You know, he followed my advice and gave me a little money on the side, and I kept him out of the lottery. But yeah, he seemed pretty interested in people who paid the bribe. But I'll take you up there."
Thanks.
Go.
What was that guy like? What was this blue-eyed guy like?
Oh, he was a real weird one. Let me tell you. He bought me a couple of drinks, so I knew he was a good guy. But my God, he had the. You could tell something was a little off on him. He didn't wear a coat. He didn't like. He seemed armed. He didn't. He wasn't armed, but he seemed like he sure knew what he was doing with the. You could tell he had a warrior's gait. But yeah, I just remember his piercing blue eyes were kind of caught me off guard. It seemed like they were seeing right through me. But he seemed very interested when I told him I was taking bribes to keep people out of the lottery. So I gave him the name of. I gave him a couple examples, a couple references, you know, to make sure that he could trust me. Of a couple people who kept their names out of the lottery. Like let's see, I gave him Taryn's name. I gave him Rannick's name.
Spilling all the beans.
He seemed very interested in all them.
Where have anybody seen Brandon lately?
See who?
Brandon, is that what his name is? The
Brand-
second guy that got the
Brannick. No.
Brannick?
No. He headed down to Bryn Shander maybe a week or two ago. I haven't seen him for a
Interesting.
while.
Is this blue-eyed guy? Is he still in town?
No. He I think he must have shipped out a little while back. Maybe a day or two ago. I haven't seen him in a while.
We're walking to Nairth,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yep.
Okay.
You guys are having this conversation as we're walking up to the Three Flags Sailing.
Wonderful.
Or no, sorry, Luskin Arms down the.
Yeah. We were at Three Flags, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys are heading south, walking along.
Interesting. So the names that were in that paid off bribes are suddenly, or at least we assume, one of them is dead. Right? The Terran guy.
Yep.
He's the one that got murdered here. Okay.
Karen's one of the ones who bribed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And then this Brannick guy hasn't been seen in a while.
Did we meet this Terran dude?
No, he's one of the guys that he's the
It's
you
the
know.
murder victim.
Oh,
He's
right. Okay.
been- He was the shipbuilder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
So we
We
make
got
it up.
a
to,
lead on this blue-eyed guy.
You guys are make it up to the Luskin Arms. You can tell Luskin Arms is the oldest public house in 10 towns, and it kind of looks it. It was established way back when Bryn Shander itself was just quote unquote the camp on the hill, and back before really the 10 towns came to become the 10 towns. Many of the traders who came to Targos in those days hailed from Luskin, which is a very big city in kind of the D&D world. Most of the people who came up to Targos from that day were so the Luskin Arms was built to look like an inn that might be found in the city of Sales, aka Luskin. As a result, much of the decor is nearly 200 years old, reflecting Luskin as it was in the years before its decline. The inn has sturdy walls but rotten floorboards, and you can tell drafts are coming up into the common room from the cellar.
Coming up from
and
the
as you-
cellar.
No, we all know that Dross is a sucker for sellers, man.
I'm a backdoor Betty. I gotta check it out.
So you guys walk in, and suddenly Dross turns and sprints off to the side and turns the corner and goes running.
And we all say, "God damn it, there he goes again." He'll be back in a few minutes.
What do I see?
All right. There is a back door in the back. Looks like it's where there's like a
What a
little
good place for it.
there's a there's a little paddock back there where they keep like
Velociraptors.
stores and stuff like that. But it's clearly like the back door for the kitchen.
Fire code necessitates dual egress.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, so we're here. Where is Nerth?
Oh, you hang out here for a second. I'll go grab him and I'll be right back.
I'll go with you.
All right, suit yourself. So you guys go. Do you guys all go or just Andor?
Yeah, I'll stick with him.
Okay,
We're just sort of following close enough to see that he's not doing anything shady.
gotcha. So, so you guys basically go upstairs and knock on the door, and Nerth, you hear a kind of an overly friendly person kind of say, "Hello, come on, I'll be right there." And then he comes and opens the door, and you see him. He's yeah, he seems like a pretty well-built guy. He seems kind of getting up in his age a little bit, but he kind of greets you and says, "Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting you, Scath. Thank you for bringing these adventurers here. What can I do for you? Can we head downstairs?"
No.
Am I already downstairs?
What'd you say?
Am I
I'd like
already
to
downstairs?
discuss-
No, they basically followed him up to his. He's got like the biggest suite, which is kind of just upstairs
Okay.
a little bit.
What's the rest of this town like? This just as an aside, like, is everybody living sort of in squalor, and this guy has like a really fancy swaggy joint, or is it fine and he just has a nice spot?
It's okay. You can tell that it's definitely gone downhill because it was, as far as fishing goes, like this was the fishing place. So they had a very bustling economy that they would fish all these trout and then sell it and trade to all the other fellow towns and things like that. So it used to be
Gotcha.
pretty good. So everyone was doing okay, but everyone's certainly not necessarily in squalor. A lot better than some of the other towns, but you can tell they're all kind of on tough times. But he seems to be doing pretty well for himself still.
That's what I wondered, if this is a sort of a Biff situation. You know?
A Biff
pull. Good pull. I say, someone says no. I think we can conclude our business in this room. We can stay put.
Okay. Yep, you're welcome. We can come in my sitting room and chat for a bit if you'd like. So
Sitting.
he kind of brings you guys in, and you hear. So yeah, he brings you into the sitting room and kind of goes, and he's got a fire going in the little fireplace next to you. And he kind of sits down in a comfy chair across from you guys and asks you what can I do for you?
I was waiting for your line.
Yeah.
Me?
There's been a murder.
Oh yeah, there's been a murder.
Are you lot here about the mine by chance? I heard there's just terrible things going on in Tourmaline. You know, that speaker,
Don't
Oris
change the
Matthew.
subject.
Oh,
We're here to ask you about these sacrifices that seem to be killing people for no reason at all.
oh, it's it's terrible. I hate to do it. You hate to see any of your townsfolk who work so hard to have to pay such a terrible price. But I've heard reports that the fishing is getting better. Fish are more plentiful. So we all turned away that the druid so long ago. But since then I've heard rumors and people are getting more desperate, and someone brought it up as a suggestion to me, and I tried to push back at first, but if too many people ask for something, who am I to turn them down? So we try and do it fairly. We have a lottery that gets pulled, and the person who pulls the lottery is.
It's our
Is-
impression that no one's asking for this except for you and your boy.
Well, I know it might seem it's hard to trust the person who holds the cards, so to say, but I'm sure I can assure you that if you were to talk to more people, that you would get the impression that they are truly desperate, and this is where we've turned.
We don't need
I
to
hate
talk to other people. We're talking to you. And if you say you're doing this fair, how come your boy here is trying to get us to pay him some coin to get off the list?
You've noticed that Scath is nowhere to be seen, so he clearly kind of backed away and has
Oh, he's getting his boys.
scrambled away.
Scooted out. Hmm.
So it's what do you mean?
I think you
Scath?
can figure that out. That's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really think I need to explain giving coin to get off the list. I feel like we can draw the same conclusion.
I have a hard time believing that. There's no way Scath would do such a thing. I'll have to
Wow.
talk to him and see if that's true.
Well, he just told us so much downstairs, so you don't need to talk to him. You can listen to us now.
Are there any spider webs in this room?
This does seem like an old
I-
place.
I look squarely in Nair's face and I say, answer his question.
he's a little distracted by the Dragonborn who has suddenly stood up from the middle of the conversation and is just kind of wandering around to the corners of the room. And so he's trying to focus on the conversation because it deserves his attention, but he's also kind of a little taken aback by. this
Look, I
guy
know you're
walking around.
I know you're distracted. It's a lot easier if you just answer his question.
I got
Well,
him exactly where I want
I assure
him.
you, as much as I detest having to do the sacrifices, I'm doing my best to make sure that it's fair, and I will absolutely talk to Scath and figure out what went wrong here, what he's doing, and bring him to justice if need be. But
Speaking of, where is he now?
I'm sure he's just downstairs waiting for me or bringing the next people up. Have quite a few callers, and I need someone to help make sure that they don't just come barging in. You know how it is. Ras, are you going exploring too much?
I want to.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go at least to the corners of the room.
Gotcha.
I want to like wander. I just want to like awkwardly leave the conversation and go wander. Actually, can I have my spider like
Uh-huh.
go creep around on the first floor and just see if anything seems amiss?
Yeah,
down
before it would be nice to use him to scout around a little bit so we don't
I wanna-
freak out Scath too
Yeah, I want
much.
to work here a bit and have my spider spy for
Are-
me down on the first floor.
Are we in the
Gotcha.
same building where we felt a draft coming up from the cellar?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
I missed that. It's just
Yeah,
It was just a note when we walked in.
That
kind
the
of.
the floorboards have seen better days, and they've been so worn that they basically are. You can feel a draft coming up from the cellar down below.
okay. Well, I want to start by having my spider bro just kind of creep around on like the ceiling downstairs.
Gotcha. Okay. So he kind of leaves your pockets and kind of crawls down and scuttles under the door.
hmm
Gotcha. So he kind of goes downstairs and he's making his way carefully. He doesn't see anything too crazy. Scath is just down there at the bar having another drink, trying to awkwardly pretend like he's friends with everybody, but everyone's kind of like humoring him a little bit and pretending like he's like just enough to get him to not. They're trying to make him not talk to them anymore, but also trying to not piss him off, basically.
Okay, so Scath is just sitting there.
Mhm.
He's okay. All right, I'm content then for now.
As long as he's still here.
I just
yeah.
want to have my spider keep an eye on him, and if
Yep.
Scath gets up and leaves, I want to
Have
know
him come
about
back
it.
up. Okay, sounds good.
So
Like I
tell
said,
us
I'm
more
going to
about
the
this
corners.
druid that came. While he's looking for spider webs, tell us more about this druid that came into town.
Oh yes, Vernus. Yeah, she came through town trying to preach, claiming that she had the solution to all our problems. Mind you, this was several months ago, so it was a little bit different than now. It seems like this blasted winter is getting worse somehow, but I think that we've broken it. But it was several months ago before things have gotten worse more recently, and times were a little bit better. The lake hadn't quite frozen over as much as it is, but she came through town and visited us and called for a meeting with me and I talked to her a little bit, and she basically tried to tell me that this winter was getting worse and wouldn't abate until we appeased the Frostmaiden, and I asked her uh, some questions, and she basically wouldn't. She didn't seem to be making a whole lot of sense. So I sent her away, and she called for a meeting in the town square, and gathered as many people as she could, and tried to give a bit of a sermon, I guess you could call it. And and I tried my best to. I came down after I saw Scath came and got me after he'd called the meeting, and I tried to basically disperse and tell people that what she was saying was nonsense. Um, but so I tried to do my best to guide my people on the straight and narrow and keep them above board, but they it seems like they've since gotten more and more complaints I've gotten since then. It seems like people are thinking back to her and thinking that might be the solution to this problem we're working through. And um, so
How many sacrifices have you had so far?
unfortunately, the second one here just happened recently. Um, the poor young woman. I wish
that's
I
not
wish
so
her name
bad.
hadn't gotten drawn.
Just 2?
Yeah, just two.
When's the next lottery again? Like, or how close are we to
monthly.
it? I should say.
So
Yeah.
basically, the
So
last
it'll be a
lottery
month.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, just less than a month, basically.
that's right. When do you draw the name? Right before you do it, or
Yeah, just about. We try and draw it, and then give them some time, a couple days at least, to get their affairs in order, and give them some time to mourn, and then we try and do it as quickly as we can to not draw it out.
I've got a theory why they're not working.
Oh yes, please tell.
You don't have everybody's name in the drawing.
Oh, I mean, it could be. I suppose I'll have to follow up with Scaff and make sure, and maybe I'll have to take ownership of that myself.
Is Scaff a sacrifice expert?
No, I mean he's just a militia captain. He's always been pretty reliable in the past. I've never heard of any issues. We kind of chose him because he was trustworthy, but yeah.
is his
perhaps
name in the lottery?
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'll have to double check and make sure. Maybe I'll have to give this next drawing a little bit closer eye than I've been. It's there's a lot that goes on as speaker, and it's hard to divide my time evenly. But yeah, this is certainly something that warrants my attention. I'll have to give it more attention this next round.
You don't seem near as concerned about this as we are.
Or prepared to handle like sacrifices. You gotta double check everything. I feel like you'd run a tight ship if you were gonna ask people to throw their name in a hat and die.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I understand. I don't want to tear families apart and do this to my people, but it's as desperate as we are, as little food as we get. I've heard some people saying that fewer mouths to feed is a good thing, and obviously that's nothing. That's something that we all want, but it is challenging for sure.
You keep saying many people and a few people and like all these people. I don't think that anybody's really saying anything.
Well, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. I'll draw I'll call a town hall meeting here soon, and we'll reevaluate and just double check and make sure that everyone's on board. Because if they're not, I assure you, this is the last thing I want to do.
The sacrifices, meaning this? This is the
Yeah.
last thing? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like then maybe you would try a little harder to not do that. If it's the last thing you want to do, yet you're still doing it. I think you
Feels
would
like you
find something
still
else.
have all the cards and yet you're still doing it even though you don't want to do it.
Nobody trusts this crazy druid lady that came into town, yet you're following the advice, and you act like your hands are tied. But the only people's hands that are tied are the ones that are tied to that pole outside. Boom.
So if you
Ooh,
wanted
nice. Good drop.
to stop the sacrifices, why can't you just stop it?
Well, I mean, if the winter, supposedly everyone believes that if we sacrifice people, or that it will appease whoever this Frostmaiden is, and then the winter will end and everything will get back to normal and everyone can go about their lives. But we've been many years, a couple of years into this, and things only seem to be getting worse. So I understand people are getting desperate. It's getting colder and colder, and we've heard a lot of really terrifying things coming up in from other towns, and rumors and things that have never happened here before. So people are scared. They're getting desperate.
So, if you wanted to stop the sacrifices, can you? Or is there something preventing you from doing
It
it?
could, as long as the will of the people dictates it. And they
How do you know the will of the people?
from talking to my citizens, having town hall meetings.
The people we've talked to don't
Maybe
seem
we
as
should
convinced
have
as
one
you
of these
do.
town hall meetings.
Yeah, let's have one right now. You're a speaker,
Oh,
right? You can do that.
It'll take some time to get everybody together, but sure, we could do it in a couple days' time.
I think I'd rather just drag him to the square.
Yeah, I think the theory about not everybody being in the head is really handling here. Maybe we just take him to the square, make it even.
Oh, I hardly think that we'd be able to get a good consensus that way. We need to do this in a way that makes sure everyone's voice is heard, and we can do it. Make sure everyone can plan around it. You know, fishermen are out there right now fishing. I'm sure they want their voices to be heard too.
Lake's frozen over. Wait, isn't the lake frozen over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are still people out there fishing. They just have to
Oh,
drag
okay.
their boats way out
Okay.
past the.
They have to
I was
go
gonna be- I was
out,
gonna be
they
like,
have to
no,
go
they're
out past the wall. Yeah.
I have a serious
But he-
question. Did I find a spider web?
You did find a couple spider webs.
Okay. You know, I do my ritual with the spider web.
What'd you say?
I do my ritual with the spider web where it's kind of like a pantomime of eating it and having it go down
Very
to my
taken
heart.
aback. He's looking for a way to wrap up this meeting. He basically says, "Look, I understand you. I can tell you're good people, and I want to make sure that I can take this as a note. And what I'll do is I'll call another town hall meeting and we'll reevaluate this. And so, I sincerely appreciate you caring about my people as much as I do. I assure you, this is not something I want to do. But if I wasn't so afraid that they would basically kick me out as speaker if I didn't do this, then I wouldn't. But I'll call another town hall meeting and we'll check and make sure this is still the right path."
Okay.
All right, I have like. There's so many things I want to do right now. And like we can't like just like have like a group huddle quick and have them just sit weirdly in that.
Yeah, we can. He's our
We can?
prisoner.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in his
You guys
room. We
could
could just
go.
step out of the hallway. He can't go
Yeah,
anywhere.
exactly.
Okay. Let's do that then. Let's have a little
Family meeting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So-
So you guys step out.
But we,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Can
could
we
like
just say
either go the compulsion path and like
kind of want
make
to go?
him stop doing
Yeah,
it,
I kind of want to go the compulsion path.
I mean, I think that's at least a good start.
or threaten him.
Yeah.
And we could probably roll like intimidation checks and stuff.
Yeah, let's.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a town meeting is just going to drag this out. We know what the result that we want is.
I'm
So
not.
let's just
the
get it
part I'm
now,
not picking
and
up
then-
is like,
yeah.
is there a higher power pushing him, or
Yeah.
is he just an idiot?
There's something else going on.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's something compelling him to do this, whether it's a person or an entity. But it seems like he still has his own free will. So there's
Can
either
I,
some intimidation going
We can
on,
try to
or
intimidate him into telling us the
Yeah.
whole
Is there?
story.
Yeah. Okay. Is there with the gold pieces? Are they two-sided? Is there like writings, markings that
Are
are
you trying
different
to
on one side or the
Anton
other?
Chigurh this guy?
I really am. Yeah. I'm trying to intentionate this guy. Yes.
turns out one of his daggers has a little CO2 charge in it, like when you
Yes.
kill a shark.
What's the most you've lost on a coin toss?
Yeah. I got two names. Actually, yeah. Hang on. I take out a gold piece. I take out one of my daggers. I carve his name on one side. I carve Scaff's name on the other. And I say I drew two names.
You're gonna murder?
Best
don't
way
know.
to stop murders is to keep on killing.
I mean, yeah. I have no idea. I don't know if this compulsion is the right thing to do, though.
We could
I think
drag him out to the town square,
maybe
have a
not
little
murdering him is
impromptu
the right
town
choice,
hall.
but yeah.
Yeah, drag him to the town hall.
I think we'll start there. Let's just tell him. I mean, he knows our intentions are to get these
Actually,
things to stop. So maybe
hold on.
it's
Can
more
I
of a. We'll take it a little more
wait, wait, wait,
diplomatic
wait?
route. Maybe.
Before we do that, yeah, let's go diplomatic. Can I, Andy? Is there any way that I can like go like ski you and see see if anybody nearby is a Harper? No, I'm kidding. We're fine. Let's go. Let's bring him out. Let's bring him out to town hall.
You just wanted to go ski. Yeah. All right, so here's what I think we ought to do. We go back in there and we tell them, like, look, we think you're full of shit, but I think you need to hear this from your people because we've heard it, and these this shit has to stop.
Let's go tie him up to the pole.
Yeah,
I'm gonna light his cloak on fire.
Dang, bro.
just enough to make
Light
him
the pole.
stop. Yeah,
Just to stomp it out, yeah.
that's the thing. As soon as he's close to freezing to death, you just light the fire just to warm him back up, and then just put it out again. Keep him on the edge of frost. Anyway, so all right.
Diver's gonna have to he's either gonna put us in combat or make us like roll intimidation or something. I think to be able to drag him.
Well, he seemed like he was willing to do the town hall meeting. Am I understanding that right?
He's saying it's not a good time.
Oh yeah.
He's
He's
Well,
basically
we're-
just saying that
Well, then-
he wants to do that. He's on board with that plan. He just needs more time to do it. To basically
Hmm.
that remember this is not you can't just send out an email. You've got to send out town criers and get people on board and schedule something that people can kind of plan around and get to like tomorrow night or the night after or something like that to make sure people can do it and they
I
just
think
can't
we
show
could
up.
cause enough scene
Yeah.
dragging him all the way across town. It would
Yeah.
drag a significant number of people in.
What if we
Remember
roll
the-
intimidation and like threaten that? Say like, here's like, you have two options. You can tell us who's forcing you to do these sacrifices, or two, we bring you out to the town square and we let you
Or
we
we
let
could give him an
the
ultimate,
people.
like a deadline, like say the
Yeah.
town hall's happening tonight.
Just remember
Yeah,
that
make
town-
it-
Or we'll
make
take it to the
happen
town hall
tonight.
ourselves.
these
We're
towns
going
have
back to the
militia
three
and
flags
stuff,
to
too.
get. Yeah.
So you can't make too much of a fuss. In theory, he controls the militia. I can't remember what size the militia is,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
probably like 20, 50 people.
Sizable enough that they could probably do some damage to
Have
us.
they seen me do my flippy flips though? I don't think they have.
If not,
I
not
asked
yet.
the same
They saw Dross try and do one at the end of last session.
Mhm.
He fell on his face. So I don't know if
Nuh-uh.
they're too impressed yet.
Didn't I do really
Last
good?
time.
Didn't I do real good? I'm pretty
I
sure.
think you did it like 4 or something last time.
That's one of your character flaws, your character
Mhm.
quirks too, is that you misremember everything.
I honestly can't remember. I think you did one at the gate or something like that, and you kind
Yeah.
of fell on your face.
I
Oh
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
you rolled an 8 in your acrobatics for
Mhm.
your flip.
Yeah.
It wasn't your
Definitely.
best. But it wasn't a 1.
Damn it.
All right. Well, either way, I think now might be the time to just intimidate him into either. You have two options. We're either gonna call this town hall meeting tonight. You're gonna make it happen, or you're gonna be tied to that pole if you don't tell us what's going on here.
Could we? Yeah.
So 3 options.
Either
You're
he
right.
calls it, either he calls the town or town hall, or we call the town hall.
Mm,
Do we
mhm.
have that power? Can we do that?
Can
Can we just like run around and like get everybody riled up?
Just
I think
remember
we could
you're-
rile up enough
You're just
people. Yeah.
random people, just 4 random guys who just kind of showed up to this town.
Diver's way too much of a pussy to sick the militia on us. He'll never do it.
Come
He'll
on.
never.
We all just get murdered in the
Uh-huh.
street, and he's like, "Well, I guess this week's
Well, this is how it
just
ends.
Weeks of planning. This
You
is
guys
fucking
suck.
done."
Diaper.
We all, you know what? We all just say, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm tired of this. Let's just all jump in the cold, frozen lake and just be done."
Diaper. Draws is seeing this and he feels a little conflicted and confused how he should feel. So he grabs his red stone, his what is it, Ilrock or something,
Yield rock.
and he prays to Garrix for guidance.
It's Garrick's answer.
What does he think Garrick's answer is? Is the more accurate way of asking that question.
He thinks Garrick says, "Too many spiderwebs, not trustworthy."
Mm. This guy does not clean his office.
I lick my lips. My lizard lips.
Hmm.
Really awkwardly though, like your tongue sticks out way too far. You know, you drag it on.
Not side to
for-
side.
Yeah.
Like up and down.
Up and down. I lick my lips up and down.
And like it's all in like a couple circles, you know. Yeah.
Like a dragonborn high five.
All and we all say, yeah, he'll be done in a few minutes. Just it's best to just let him finish.
Just like that, Raz. Take a look at that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly like that. Oh, that's funny, dude.
All right, what are you guys thinking?
I don't know what to do. Wait. Can we go investigate that draft though?
Remember, like this guy isn't going anywhere. You guys don't have to
Yeah.
Send the
necessarily
spider
solve this
down
all
to
right
the
now.
cellar.
He's going to be around for a while, so you guys
Oh, you
can
sent-
leave
yeah,
and
you
come
sent
back
the-
and see if he kept his word or anything like that too.
Dabber, I want to
Yeah.
send my spider down to the cellar.
Gotcha. So the floorboards are pretty creaky and have seen better days, so you can just kind of crawl straight down. He doesn't have to go and find stairs or anything like that. But he spends a few minutes poking around, and he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. No doors or anything like that. It's just steps down, and he sees barrels and like a root cellar and food and stores and stuff like that. Nothing out of the ordinary he sees.
All right.
Yeah. It's anticlimactic.
Can I light the building on fire?
Good if you wanted to. You can try.
That'd be the
No.
spot to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
not
think,
yet.
I think it's just like the ultimatum of call in a couple days. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, so
what
do we,
to
are we?
do.
Is it? Is it time to just hang around and say, look, we're gonna hold you to your word here, and I need you to, call this town meeting.
I think we do the ultimatum. We tell them town hall is happening tonight,
Okay.
or you know, tell us the whole story.
Yeah.
And then the or else
Yeah,
is we'll burn down
Yeah.
this precious hotel of yours.
Like Dabber
Just
said, we're not
just
gonna
screw it.
solve this problem tonight. So
Frame him.
Yeah.
let's tell the speaker that, like, look, you call this town meeting now, get it together.
We're willing to be reasonable.
Yeah. But
Or we're gonna find a way to put your name into that hat, and then I use my sleight of hand, and I put a piece of paper somehow in his hand without him knowing, with a terrible roll.
well, yeah, you try, and then it just
terrible
drop it twice.
That's what the
I
plus
misspelled his
thing is.
name.
You rolled a 2 and a 3.
You tried to hand him something, or what was their sleight of hand?
My sleight of hand was like, "Or we're gonna make sure your name is in that hat," and then I wrote it on a piece of
Attempt a
paper.
magic trick.
I tried to do a magic trick to intimidate him.
I notice it so much that I try to perform the handoff for you, but not sleight of hand.
Well, you guys are on their way now, so Zilna's just kind of practicing and preparing.
Okay.
And Dross
okay.
thinks that he's trying to hand it to him because he did so badly that he
Nice.
grabs it and eats it. or
Dross
something.
is the type that says, "Why are you kicking me under the table?"
Yeah.
So it's
What am I supposed to
definitely
do
like
with this piece of paper that
he
says
basically just goes, "Why are you putting that paper in his pocket?" As you're just like very quietly, you stop mid stride.
That's fine.
You're like, "You fucking idiot!"
All right.
All right, so you guys want to go back in?
I say we go downstairs and check on Scath. Well, we got to go back in first. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We got to have this conversation that we've been dreaming about for the last 10 minutes.
All right.
So you guys come piling back in, and he's sitting there with his still sitting there in his chair, very attentive, saying, "Hey, you're back. What have you decided? I'm all ears."
We need to think. We need you to hear what we heard today at the inn or at the tavern. These these people in town aren't as convinced as you are that these sacrifices are necessary. So I think you need to call a town meeting and hear it from them again. And you need this. You need to stop.
And I
Or,
go,
Town hall needs to happen tonight.
mhm.
Well, that's good news. I'm glad to hear that people seem to maybe have been changing their mind back. It's I wish I'd heard it sooner, obviously, but yeah, I'll call a town meeting as quickly as we can. I think tomorrow night would be reasonable to get everybody
Nope.
together.
I
Nope,
listen,
nope,
I
nope,
interrupt
nope,
him and I
nope.
go, listen, bucko, and then I don't follow it up with anything. I just stand aside.
Well,
You heard somebody say it once and thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I can certainly call a town hall meeting and we can get as many people there as we can, but I don't know it's going to be a quorum or anything. I don't know if we can count on everybody to be there on such short notice, but we can certainly try.
Well, then you certainly will try. We're counting
Okay,
on
fair
it.
enough.
All right, we're
I
ready
seems
to
to
like.
have a lot of concern about official proceeding, but there's like seems to be no actual rules. He's just in charge. Like quorum.
Yeah, who?
What the hell
What would
does
this?
quorum mean in this context? You know?
Yeah, when you're the only when it's the speaker and the militia leader that are the
He needs a
people
room
that
full
seem
of
to make all the
people,
decision. Yeah.
so I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Yep.
it's
So,
happening tonight.
It's happening tonight.
Okay, I'll do my best. We'll get as many people there as we can.
Is this where I do my terrible sleight of hand, or was that practiced outside?
That was practice.
Okay.
We'll let you roll again.
All right.
Do it.
See if I pull it off. Nice.
There we go.
All right.
what
So
happens?
I want to say I just magic this shit in there, but I have to actually like plan it on him, but like do something to do that. So I don't know. I just walk up to him, and as I'm walking, I subtly slip it into like his pocket without him knowing, and I just say, "Make sure it happens tonight. We're gonna make sure that your name gets in the next drawing." And if you and just we have our ways. That's how I leave it, and then we just walk out.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Very nice.
You guys want to head back down and check on Scath, see how our buddy's doing?
Yes.
Wonderful. Is he still at the bar?
Yep, still living it up, still drinking, still doing his thing.
Is Living It Up playing in the background
It is. Yep.
on loot?
All people that be living it up.
The loot version of Living It Up.
Well, so it's a note in ProCare.
So Scath sees you guys coming down the stairs and he says, "Hello, gentlemen, you're back. How did it go?"
And you seem to disappear rather quickly once we started our discussion.
Oh, yeah. Nairth doesn't like me listening in on conversations or anything like that.
Well, I think it might have been one you wanted to hear.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Just say, yeah, you got some work to do. Go gather everybody and get them in the square for a meeting, or in the town hall for a meeting. Your boy just said.
All right. Well, you know how it is. I have to go. Let me go talk to him, and I'll see what he says. So he finishes his drink and then starts trudging upstairs.
So then can we go to the town hall and wait?
Can-
What do we do?
can
we can probably
uh,
do something else in the meantime.
can your spider go listen to conversations?
Ooh.
And can you hear? Can you hear?
Yep.
Do that.
All right.
Curious.
I want to have my spider stealth up to the, just be like wherever it can be within earshot. So whatever, if it's outside the door, if it has to be in the room.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably be in the room and crawl around, so you can basically hear and see everything that it's doing.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. So Scath goes upstairs and he opens the door and he says, "Boss, what happened?" And then Nair says, "Oh, they just more goody two shoes heroes. Well, always looking out for the best for everyone." And he says that they seem pretty confident that some people are skimming off that some people are bribing to to keep their names out. And he says, "I told you to keep your mouth shut about that." He says, "Oh, you know
Mhm.
me. I'm not one to lie or it just slipped my mind. I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't think that they'd do anything with it. I was trying to help him out and make a few bucks on the side." And he says, yeah, what am I going to do with you, Scath? And he kind of turns and puts his his fist down on the table, and he's thinking and thinking and thinking and trying to uh, process everything. He says, "All right, seems like our money making scheme is at an end. We'll have to put an end to it. Go gather the militia and go call a town hall meeting, and we'll put this to rest and make these heroes happy so they can get out of our hair."
Hmm.
And
Sounds
so
pretty basic.
and then you see and then so Scath says, "Okay, you got it, boss." And he turns around and walks out and goes downstairs, walks past the spider, and then what does the spider do from there?
Mm, I wanted to like poof into hiding,
Mhm.
I guess. Yeah, like I can like make it like disappear.
Mhm.
But I want him to like see it. Like I'm not gonna try to like
Oh,
hide
gotcha.
it.
I
Just be
see.
like a little poof of flame.
You want him to know
And
that
he
we were
would
listening.
spook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sparks basically.
Well,
So it's
I
just,
don't know that he would
he
know
doesn't know
that
that he
it's
would know what that
us, but
means,
it'd
but
probably freak him out.
Well, that's true too.
yeah. And
I just
yeah,
don't want to
before
try and make it like a stealth, like oh he disappears, but the guy doesn't see it. I'm okay with him seeing it.
yeah, so before that happens, he reaches into his pocket to grab for something, and he finds a little strip of paper, and he reads it, and it's got his name on it, and he clearly is like looking around, like he's very taken aback, a little worried by what the fuck is this? What is this? Like you can tell he's a little off put, because he like stops
Nerve,
and
right?
thinks, and you can tell he kind of he thinks he's pretty sure that rogue did something to it, and he's a little off, but that he was that sneaky, basically.
That was
So he kind of,
Nerth, right?
Sneaky,
Not
sneaky.
yep,
Scath.
right
Okay.
there. Yeah, so he's a little off, but he kind of shakes his head and walks over into his room, and shuts the door.
This
And
guy's
then you
going
want to roll
high.
Can
spider.
I like relay this? Not like in explicit detail, but I basically just tell the group, obviously these are pretty pathetic villains. They're literally willing to sacrifice people just to make a few extra bucks by letting people bribe them.
It feels like it's not a big cash cow, but all right.
Yeah, it's a pretty steep cost.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So Scath comes tromping down the stairs and says, "Well, looks like you boys are right. We'll go round people up and see how many people we can get for a meeting."
Let's
And
round
then
'em up.
he
Excellent.
trudges out the door and goes off and into the cold.
Family meeting.
So I-
Are we going to town hall for this meeting, right?
It'll be in the evening, right? But
Mhm.
who's the
Yep.
other person who bribed him, but we don't know where they are? Brannick?
Brannick. Yeah, he
Brannick.
went back to Bryn Shander, I believe. Is that what you said a couple weeks
Yep.
ago?
Yep. So
So
he
he's
left.
But we
not
didn't see him,
He's not in
and we didn't see
Targos.
him when we were there.
Right.
Yeah.
He is not in Targos now. Yeah. So Brannick is basically from Targos, but he's not there anymore.
Was there
I'd
anybody
wanna,
else
like,
other than those two that we know of?
expose these two to the town, what they're up to, but I don't know if we have like a good witness. Did the bartender overhear him offering for us to bribe him, Scath?
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Yep.
We could talk to her and have her like testify in front of the town hall that that's what these two are doing.
Yeah, I mean, are we gonna like blow this whole thing up tonight or what? It's like, look,
Expose
these
them.
two assholes followed the
mean-
will of this wacky druid, and now they're trying to make money off of you. So, fuck y'all.
It doesn't sound like anybody's forcing them to do it. It just sounds like they're just being dicks. For money.
Right.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity because this crazy lady came to town.
Why do they need the money though? Is it just to get the extra cash, or are they trying to?
Greed, I
I
guess.
guess. All right.
pretty sad.
All right. So we got what, a couple hours until this town hall meeting? What'd you say it was like afternoon right now?
Yeah, probably afternoon, getting into evening. So, yeah, the balance between trying to call it quickly and get as many people as they can there, getting into dinner time and things like that. And the later it gets, the colder it gets, and the less likely people are to come out of their homes and stuff like that.
But this place doesn't have 5G.
Let's round them
All
up.
right. So we want to try to help round people up, or do we want to go back to the bar and
Triglio?
talk to the?
Riglio is a general store.
Hmm. And then
Do you have general
there's the
needs?
town hall there.
Do we want to talk to the bartender?
That's
lady?
what I was thinking. That we go back to the bartender and see if we could poke her a little bit more. She seemed willing to give up some
Like, she's
some
probably
more
someone the
information.
town trusts, you know?
Mhm.
She should be the
Yeah.
speaker. What's her name? Portly lady?
Ma is what she goes by.
Ma.
Nice.
She was plump.
Plump Ma.
She thick.
Like, we
She's
should
big.
stage, like, a little speaker coup. Like, have her take over.
Ooh,
Speaker coup.
interesting.
My favorite
Like,
kind of coup.
like, have her be the witness that exposes their, greed and how it's killed 2 people already.
Yeah, because she's pretty trusted in town, right?
Hmm.
Not a lot of enemies or anything.
Yep, you can kind of tell she cares for people, and people notice that kind of thing.
I
Hmm.
don't know. That's an idea. I don't think we tell her we want her to be speaker. I think we just convince her to come and speak on, what her experience with these 2 and how we've learned that the only reason the sacrifices are happening is. for
Yeah,
them
I
to
think
make
we
money.
could maybe facilitate that transition, and maybe somebody in the town hall meeting would say, fuck these guys, you should be the speaker, type of thing.
Here, here.
Yeah. Or like, one of us could yell it from the back, like, "Hey, why don't you be the speaker?"
Yeah,
We
what that
talk
guy
to-
said.
We talk to Ma, like, not with Scath or nearby. Like,
Yeah, Scath went off, and then Nerth is still up in his rooms doing
All
something.
right, so we're able. Let's head back to Three Flags and go chat with her with our newfound information.
Sounds good. So you guys trudge back over there, and you see militia starting to kind of congregate and split off, and they're clearly trying to go down the streets and start rousing people. As you make your way back up to Three Flags Sailing, to the tavern.
I love a good
I don't
rousing.
know why they need to arouse people.
Look, man, what happens in Targos stays in Targos.
Yep, you know it. So you guys head back into Three Flags Sailing, and
It's a sexy
Ma's
militia.
there, just where you left her.
Is there quite a few people at the bar still, or is it?
Yeah,
it
just a few. Kind of coming in and come and go, coming in, coming out. Not a huge crowd, but a decent amount.
Not enough for us to not feel like we can't speak freely.
Yep.
So let's go up to the bar and just get Ma's thoughts on the speaker. I'm curious what you think of this guy.
Well, I think he's a greedy asshole. If you don't mind me saying, I think that he's it's ever since he took charge, I know things have gotten worse and worse. I don't think the sacrificers are doing nothing. It's bad for morale. I can't believe. And she kind of already knew that Scath was openly taking bribes and kind of scoffed at it. But basically, she kind of tells you that yeah, we all nobody is super happy with it, but everyone is kind of afraid of the militia. With Scath being the militia commander, the militia are the peacekeepers, and nobody is really brave enough to kind of step up and rock the boat, so to speak. And so they're all kind of keeping their heads down and assuming that everyone else is kind of at least going along with it, because no one is brave enough to basically stand up to them or the militia or to really make a difference. So you kind of get the impression that she gets the impression, and she hates it, and she would openly speak about it, but not necessarily straight to anyone's face. You know what I mean? But she kind of gets the pulse that yeah, it feels like people are against it generally, but no one is brave enough to speak up. Everyone's pretty downtrodden, depressed. As bad as things are, nobody wants to make it worse for themselves. But you get the impression that, yeah, I'm sure given enough of a push, people would find their spirit again. And I'm sure it would have come with enough time, but if we can light the spark, you kind of get the impression that people would come to their senses and stop, or at least either push to stop the lottery or further, basically.
Well, I think we ought to let her know that we got the speaker to call a town meeting, and we're trying to put a stop to this right now, tonight.
Right, meow.
Man,
Right?
We'd like
movers
you
and
to.
shakers, you lot.
We'd like you to speak there on what you've seen.
Oh boy, I worry about my establishment here if I make too much of a ruckus, but I'll voice my opinion. I'll be in the crowd and I'll help you. I'll help out. I'm not usually one to bite my tongue, and yeah, if we get enough people together to speak our mind, I'm sure I could at least say my part.
Good enough.
In that case, we'll take a round of drinks.
She says this one's on the house. Hopefully, you appreciate what you all are doing for us and on our behalf. And it's been a while since I've seen such stout-hearted heroes come through. She pours you all
On the house? I give her a very confused look about that phrasing, on the house.
Yeah, yours is up on the roof.
I look straight up.
Oh man, that's the best. So I assume you guys, what do you do for until then? You enjoy your drinks for a bit.
Yep, I'm drinking.
I'm talking to my glass.
To the reflection in the glass or to the glass itself.
Yeah, no, his spider's sitting on the rim of it. We can't see it, but he's just having a conversation. The spider's not talking back. He's just talking to him because he's fucking weird.
Gotcha. So you kill some time, and it's round about the time where Ma basically kicks everybody out and locks up, and you guys leave and head to the town hall together.
Yeah, sounds good.
Gotcha. Let me double check and see how big Targos is. So Targos is a town of about 1,000 people, so pretty good size. So you see maybe 400 people in and around the town hall. Not that many people can fit in it, but they're kind of like spilling out into the main space. But you can tell there's a decent amount of people came up, especially on short notice.
That's good. I'm glad that they
Good turnout.
did what we asked. I was a little concerned that the militia would be a little half-assed since they didn't really want this all to happen, but
You don't know what they want.
Yep. Yeah, most of the people here are good people, but yeah, they're not. Sometimes it takes a spark. So you're
What's
you
the-
show up. Good.
I was going to say, what's the general consensus of the militia? I mean, do they just sort of do what Scath says, or are they kind of are they generally good people but don't have it in them to go against him, or what?
So you're kind of asking Ma as you guys walk up, I assume. Basically, she says, "Oh,
Yeah.
the militia are generally good-hearted folks. They're down on their luck just as much as everybody else. But yeah, they usually know right from wrong, basically. So they follow orders when they can. But yeah, I was wondering myself whether or not something like this would bubble up if any more sacrifices came, because like you can picture the first one, everyone is kind of like if it's desperate enough to let people go through with it, then there's enough curiosity to see what happens, basically, and then after the second one happens and nothing happens again, then people start to get a little bit more skeptical and openly concerned with it. So she's kind of thinking to herself that, yeah, she was surprised. She wouldn't be surprised if something like this started happening a little bit more naturally. But you guys are definitely the tinderbox who kind of sparked the fire early.
Aha! I like that. I like fire.
So Nerith stands up in front of the people and says, he bangs a little gavel and he calls the meeting to order, and he says, make this quick. I know you all have families and dinners to get back to, but these kind adventurers here, and he points to you guys kind of standing in the back, have brought it to my attention that the uh, the 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 lottery and the sacrifices and things like that might not actually reflect the will of the people. So we wanted to, or he says, I wanted to gather this meeting to get a consensus and hear people out, and we'll just put it to a straight vote and try and keep this going. And he says, he says no. Before that, he'll call for speakers and say, does anyone want to say their piece before we vote?
Does anyone say anything in the crowd?
No, everyone's kind of sitting down and kind of mumbling themselves. You could tell there's a kind of a murmur going through the crowd, and everyone's kind of looking around and wondering. There's a lot of people haven't seen you, and they're kind of turning around and staring at you guys back in the back, wondering who the spicy newcomers are.
Ooh, spicy. So spicy.
I don't mind being
So
spicy.
all of them didn't roll for courage, or
Yeah, none of them.
Damn it.
None of them seem to be have much to say. At least right now, none of them kind of stand up and have the courage to quite say something first.
Is it pretty well known that Scath is asking for bribes, or is this a kind of a if you know sort of thing?
Yeah, I
No,
feel like
no.
it's like a if you know kind of thing, because he certainly doesn't hide it. He's not bashful about it, but I'm sure not everybody knows. Not everybody is, because it's a town of 1,000 people, so not everybody will have like interacted with him or been close to him or gotten the chance to hear him blab.
Mhm.
I don't want to go full wild card here.
do it.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Do it.
Lock the door, burn them all.
I want to summon my flaming mule.
Oh boy.
Or dude.
What? That can detect lies.
No. And I want to ride it up to the stage.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Really
Just
make
kind
an
of like
entrance
shock and awe.
Yeah. Okay. Be the spark, man. Go get it.
there. Yeah, I mean,
Do it. Yes, that's awesome.
Flint and Tinder, boy.
So I'm
Love
just
it.
I'm some like the crazy old hermit, right? But
Yeah.
suddenly a Dive, are you cool with this? Like,
Yeah, go for it.
okay. A flaming mule bursts into existence next to me. I spend my wild shape to summon it. And I just hop on it. I don't say anything. I just like ride it up to the front.
Uh-huh. And like
Next to
everyone's
the
like, holy shit.
and it's just
there's
like
like a
park it like
lot of hubbub.
with like the face like right next to him, just staring at him.
Creepy ass
And I
mule.
say, yeah. I'm trying to think what I want to say. I say, you
Just
know,
staring at him.
we
like,
spoke to this guy
Uh-huh.
today, and I have my mule here has the ability to detect liars.
Yes.
He
Interesting.
lied to us.
Interesting.
He lied to us. He's lied to you all. He's killing these people for money. He wants
I
bribes
gasp.
to get off
I
the
try to
line.
encourage a group gasp. I go,
But you also don't know what a gasp is,
Yeah.
and so you just start
Burp. You
making
burp.
random
Yeah.
noises.
You give a really big belch.
And then I say, the last thing I say is, oh, and be careful what you say next, Nerith, because any lies in front of my mule will cause spontaneous combustion.
Tries to start a slow clap, but it doesn't work.
So roll a persuasion for me with advantage because you're this is quite the show.
Yes.
because I assisted. It's an assisted roll.
All right, so you roll pretty
Nice.
well. So you can tell people are very interested and they're kind of looking around and no one seems super like surprised. Like, yeah, that sounds like Scath for sure.
Classic scaff.
But they're kind of looking. You can tell that their ire is getting up a little bit towards the speaker. And he says, "Hey, now, I understand. that none of us wants to lose one of our own. Especially, I know that we were getting desperate a while back, and we voted, and we all agreed that this was the best way to try and proceed forth. But if that's not the way that things need to go, then that's not the way things need to go. So we'll.
While he's talking, I want
Uh-huh.
to use Druidcraft to light like the hem of his. What's he wearing? Like, is he wearing like a hat, a robe?
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
he's wearing a robe.
I want to light his.
Yes.
Like I can like light a candle. I want to like light his robe, just a tiny little fire at
Nice.
the base of his robe. That'll
Yes.
kind of like slowly burn up his robe as he's talking.
Gotcha. So it takes
That's-
a
and this is-
while to
Still
do
and-
this.
inches from his face, just like staring at him, like a bunch of heat coming off of it, so he's like sweating.
Yeah. And this is visible from like everybody in the inn too. They can
Yeah,
all see
the
this,
mule's
right?
not touching
Okay.
him though. The mule didn't light
Perfect.
him on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah. Perfect.
Yep. So you can tell as time goes on that he's talking and he's not focusing on it, but eventually he pulls the hem of his robe away from his neck a little bit because it's getting hot in here, and he glances down a couple times and he sees that his robe's on fire and he stamps it out. And he tries to do it pretty surreptitiously, but everyone kind of notices and they start to rumor a little bit because they can kind of tell it almost you get the impression that they think that he was telling like a white lie, and so he didn't like burst into flames, but he was starting to basically to head down a path that wasn't necessarily true or a white lie or something like that. And you could tell that they're starting to get a little bit more frustrated. And so he says, I understand. I want to follow the will of people. So if there is a consensus here, or people will hold it to a vote, and if people say no sacrifices, then I'm certainly not going to stand in the way of the people.
His mustache light on fire now.
Nice.
he bats it out, and he's looking around trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But
Even
trying to-
better, he didn't have a mustache before, so you made him grow one, then lit it on fire.
Have a mustache.
Or his eyebrows or something. Just I don't care.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He puts it out, and
Small little flame sparking up on him.
Yeah.
I love it. So he's
Yeah,
trying
just-
his best to keep us cool, but you can tell he's getting pretty frazzled by this point. So he says, "All right, enough is enough. We'll just call a vote here." And so he basically says, all in favor of ceasing the human sacrifices, put your hand up." And you look around, and people start looking at each other, and the first couple hands go up, and then over time more and more people get up, and you can tell that basically at least 95% of the people there have their hands up. They would like to stop
I've
it.
got both my
So
hands
he
up.
says, both your hands up. And so he says, "All right, fair. Like this is excellent. I'm so glad to hear this." And he bangs his gavel and he says, "From here forth, Targos will no longer sacrifice our people, and we will work together and renew our efforts to try and figure out what is going on with this endless winter. And this is great news." And he tries to basically spin it to be like almost. You get the impression he's basically trying to make it sound like it was his idea in the first place.
I'm not done though. I want to say, like as I'm wrapping that up, I want to say I think we have at least one more vote to take, and that's to replace the speaker.
Interesting.
He says, "Well, that's most unusual. We'll need at least a bigger quorum than that. One frustrated citizen surely can't can't vote a speaker out. But we can."
I'm gonna light something else on it.
Can I sneak like to the back and then like shout out like, "Yeah, let's let Ma be." I nominate Ma for speaker. But it sounds like
Yeah,
an
that's
actual
awesome.
villager.
Yeah, we need to like spark some
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of dissent
Well-
here of like, what about this guy being a greedy prick and making money off of these sacrifices? Don't act like you're the hero
Yeah.
here, man. Like, we
Yeah.
can't let him take all the credit for this.
Yep.
So roll a let's see, probably a deception check to like throw your voice and make it sound like it's not you.
Pretty nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty darn
Nice.
good. So you what do you say again?
So I sneak over to the left and I say, anybody be willing to sacrifice his own people isn't fit to be a ruler. I vote Ma. And I just in the old man voice.
And so
And the
you,
old man in the corner was like, "That wasn't me."
the people around you, kind of look around trying to figure out who said that, but they generally nod in agreement. And they say, "Yeah, we enough is enough. Like we know that Scath is skimming, like, because basically we let Scath kind of go because he's kind of a bumbling. He really didn't pose much of a threat, and in general things haven't been quite that bad. But yeah, maybe it is time for a change." And the people start to gather and start to talk louder and louder and louder, and basically and Nair says, "Look, I know you're unhappy. I understand. And if it's your will, let's hold. What would he do? So I guess he would, because he's not gonna stand up in front of all these people and like let a riot go. He's gonna try and basically appease them and try and basically kick this to another day. So we basically say, look, we know that there's a good group here, but surely there are people. I've done well for you. The fishing is we've weathered this storm as well as we could, given everything that's going on here. I understand that. I thought I was doing your will up to this point. Is that not worth anything?
He's taking too long for Draz, and Draz goes, "By Garrix, we must riot!"
And I yell out, "You let some wackadoodle druid tell you what to do before, so why not do it again?"
He says, "Well, we certainly I understand," and he basically, I think you can tell he's kind of given up at this point. He can tell it's a losing battle, and he's just trying to basically save face. And he says, "All right, fair enough. If it's truly the will of the people, and you don't want me as your speaker anymore, then there's not much I can do about that." And so he basically takes off gives his hammer down, and
Takes off his wizard robe and hat.
It's all burnt up anyway.
He lays down his hammer. He says, "It's been a pleasure to serve you, and I wish you the best in the coming months, and we will we'll call this meeting adjourned."
Well, that was easy.
Yep, you get the impression that he looks pretty furious, and he's not necessarily done yet, but he knows he's certainly not going to be able to do much here.
Doing like the side to side Hercules
We
climb
won the
on top of
battle.
my flaming mule, like Hercules.
So he says, "All right, this meeting is adjourned," and he leaves it to that, and he says, "In my stead, typically the captain of the militia is the next one to take over as temporary leader of the town until a new leader can be chosen."
Who's that?
Nerith. Or Scath.
There's Scath.
Yeah.
But Scath starts to walk up to the top, and I just put my hand on his chest and push him back.
Oh, I can't let that happen.
Yeah, you little shit. No way. Because, I would yell out, this guy was part of this greedy bullshit too, so he's out.
He says, "I see. Well, then, what do you propose? What do we do without? What do these good people do without a speaker?"
Election.
We'll ask
Surely.
the people who. Yeah.
We need time to call an election. We can't do it on such short notice. I'm sure the people who aren't here would want to vote.
God damn it, Diver.
We got ourselves into a bit of a pickle here.
I know. I say Ma should
we-
be speaker.
Should have just killed this guy.
Yeah.
He says, "Let's do this.
Next time use a bigger fire.
Why is he still making the calls? Get him out of here.
I have a proposition for everyone," and everyone kind of quiets down. And he says, "Let's do this. I understand that you may not trust me anymore, and that's there's not much I can do about that. But let's propose. We need time to get the word out. It's first thing tomorrow. The militia will start distributing news and ballots, and we'll vote for a new speaker. Now let's decide anyone here who wants to put their name on the ballot, speak up, and we'll start getting the word out and trying to figure out where we go from here. How do we get out of this mess?
I look at Ma, and I like nod.
I just want to install Ma as dictator here, and
Yeah, we're
Move
running
on.
a coup.
CIA this shit.
So what do you guys propose, or you guys are just kind of trying to get her to nudge to put her own hat in the ring?
Yeah, I think we need to let her make the decision. I don't want to push her in a place she doesn't want to be because she's too nice for that.
I do the Boba Fett nod that I threw up in the Discord to Ma.
She says,
Say,
good.
I say that I kind of want to be like, saying something like, well, this, based on the population of the town, the number here would be a representative sample and would therefore be a valid vote. I want people to know what the fuck's a representative sample.
So people are kind of looking around and wondering what's going on right now. They seem a little confused and put off. Clearly, something like this has never happened before to them, and they're not quite sure who to follow around. Like there's the militia, and they are the ones that, like, the militia is pretty sizable here. So they're trying to figure out what's next. They don't like the idea of not having a leader, and so they're kind of looking around but everyone knows Ma, and Ma kind of nods and she says, "Yep, I'm happy to fill in for a little while. I'm not sure I'd be a good fit for speaker long term, but I can
Yeah, let's
fill
have
in
her
for now."
oversee the election. How about that?
Yep. Yeah. So you suggest that, and she says, "Yep, I feel like I can do that. I know these people like the back of my hand. I can make sure that we find someone who will to do right by us, and we'll give it time to have proper due process and basically figure this out and untangle it from here." And everyone seems pretty happy with that, and Nerith is kind of looking around, and he sees that his time is kind of spent, and his last little ploy kind of worked, and so he's kind of backing away and basically trying to gather his things, and because he kind of there's not much he can do here, so everyone's kind of looking around, and he tries to basically back away and see if he can kind of sneak his way out.
I'm gonna cast Tangle on him.
no sneaking
Actually,
away.
yeah, I'm gonna cast Entangle.
Gotcha.
He's actively trying to leave the room right now.
Yeah, he's not trying to like rush or anything like that.
I
He's
don't know. I
trying
guess, do we want to like say there's like a third issue to deal with, and that this dude's a murderer? Like, we just want to.
Well, we still have this blue-eyed guy to kind of figure out too, so I don't necessarily want to like take both of these guys out of the equation because we asked Scath about, or no, who told us about the blue-eyed guy first?
Scaff did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to ask the speaker about him too because we don't really know if he ever got a look at this guy or not. You know, because there's still those pesky murders. I mean, aside from their murders, more murders.
There's been a murder?
There has been another murder.
But we need to make sure that I think maybe one of us could just walk over quickly, and just kind of shut the door. He can't leave.
So he's gathering his things, and people are kind of like going over to shake Ma's hand, and they're trying to. It's like the townspeople are trying to run over and like meet you guys and see who the hell is the one stirring up all this hubbub, and they're trying to basically get to you guys. And in the meanwhile, Nerith is trying to basically make his way out peacefully but slowly, and but purposefully out, basically out the side. You want to try anything special? You basically would have to kind of nicely move through the people and try and catch up to him or get him to
I got
stop.
Stalk him?
Yeah, I'd like to just sleuth my way through and stop him from exiting the door. Now I can't physically do it because I don't have strength, but I at least like shut the door and like block
I can
it.
thorn whip
Well, I think you're intimidating enough that you could like,
Okay.
you know,
Try that,
you could.
Simon. Roll acrobatics for me. See if you can.
Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Do a little
like
flipsy daisy.
leap up, and kind
You,
of climb
you
the wall
walk
a
on
little
top of everybody's heads.
bit. Yeah.
Without them knowing.
Yeah.
I swing my way up to the rafters like Batman and
It's
like
like
Naruto.
Legolas walking
run.
on top of the snow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
like
kind of
this.
get over there and you, uh,
Yep,
you
exactly like that.
exactly like that. So you make your way over there, and before he can kind of slip out the side door, you walk over and kind of put your hand on it and shut the door in front of him, and then what do you say?
We're not done yet.
Tough
Guys,
guy.
Never gonna get away.
He says, "I think you've made your will clear. Like I hear the people, the will of the people, and they said
No,
that-
I said the meeting is done. Our business is not done.
There's been a
Okay.
murder.
And we all turn to Dross and go, "We know. Yeah, you're doing great, buddy."
And he basically says, "Well, ever the servant. My just because my time as speaker is done doesn't mean I'm not done helping the people. We can meet back in my room if you'd like."
We can talk right here. You can say the theatrics.
I feel like in another life, this guy like really was a good dude. He's
Nah.
just too nice
No,
about
it's
it.
just Diber.
I'm
guys.
waiting for him
It's-
to
it's-
slip up.
No, it's Diber.
Tell me
An
that.
asshole. Diber is a good dude.
Diver's great. Dude.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Your boy told us about somebody who was very interested in hearing about who bribed their way out of these lotteries. Tell me who he is.
I'm not sure who you mean. And like you can tell there's like a look of, for once he's got like a look of genuine confusion on his mind.
Okay.
He's like, I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of someone like that. Who told you about him?
Your boy Scaff. Who would be interested?
Scath? Anybody who be?
If you know everybody in this town,
Well, I'm
you
sure.
must know who might be interested in knowing that information at least.
Is
Well,
Scath still in
How
the
about the
meeting?
blue-eyed
Or
guy,
he-
Simon? Is that who you're going after?
Yeah, isn't that what we're trying to figure
Yeah.
out too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I know my
yeah.
citizens backward and forward, and I don't know anybody who meets that description. Maybe it was someone who came through temporarily on a caravan or something, a traveling trader, something like that.
What did
So-
this
so this
druid
is-
that
Traveling
brought up
trader.
the? Sorry,
Is
I was gonna
this,
say-
is this pretty genuine like confusion? He doesn't know who we're talking about.
yeah. he
Roll
doesn't know.
a what would that be?
Roll
don't think he-
remember.
I don't think he knows.
That would be, what is it? Is it perception? I think it is.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
are we
I
aiming
think so.
for?
Yeah, roll a perception for me.
Nope.
I say I've got a pretty
What's
good
the
one.
circumstance that's calling for perception?
I guess you're the
Uh,
only one talking to him right
basically
now.
trying to
so-
tell whether
or
or
did
not
we all
he-
get over there by
Whether
this
or not
point?
he-
Maybe by this point you guys are all over.
yeah, by this point, if you guys have been talking for a couple minutes, you guys could have nicely wandered your way through your crowds instead of
Okay.
jumping on their heads. But
Well, I'm
he's-
gonna roll two then.
He's rolling for perception, basically trying to tell whether or not Nerith is lying about not knowing who the blue-eyed guy is. So, Ando, you get the impression that, yeah, he legitimately doesn't know who this guy is, but he seems to be generally trying to help, and he's wondering who this guy is, because he had heard about the murders, but yeah, and he tried looking into it, but he's you can tell he's pretty frustrated with Scath, because Scath is kind of a loose cannon, and he's like, he basically says, I can't believe Scath wouldn't have mentioned something like this to me. We've been looking into those murders for that murder for a couple of days now, and that would have certainly been pretty important to tell me. So he's like, let's go, if you don't mind, go gather Scath, and let's one of you can go gather Scath, and let's meet up in my room, and we'll see what he knows, basically.
Oh, we'll gather him. All right. Consider
Yes.
him gathered.
He's been gathered.
So you guys work
Oh,
with him, and you walk back to the Luskan Arms, and which I think is the one, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys head back to the Luskan Arms, and you're it was basically locked up, but the proprietor is kind of had just gotten back, or he didn't go. He wasn't one. He had to run his in because people sleep, and so he couldn't make it to the meeting, and he's in there kind of minding his own business. and you guys kind of sit down in the common room there at Scath, and you guys bring Scath with you. And he says, "What is this business about a blue-eyed man who was asking about people who were trying to dodge the lottery?" And Scath says, "Yeah, of course. I told you about him, right? There's a guy who paid me to take his name out of the lottery, and he seemed very interested in anybody else. He asked me who else who had paid bribes, and I told him Taryn, and I told him Brannick, and he says, all right, enough. Um, and he's clearly, like, you can tell, Nerith has been dealing with Scath because he had to rather than he wanted to. That he could see he could be basically been manipulated, and he's kind of doesn't have to put up with that anymore. So he's kind of letting his temper with Scath kind of go a little bit. And he says, "I can't believe you wouldn't have told me about that. So where did he? Who is this man?" He says, "Oh, I don't know. He's a pretty well-built guy with, black hair. He didn't really tell me too much about him. He bought me a drink, so I talked to him for a bit. But I hadn't seen him before, and I haven't seen him since." And he's kind of thinking and wondering. He said, yeah, I bet he must have left with Torgs when they left yesterday or the day before. That's the only thing I can think of.
I knew it.
With Torgs?
It's the traveling
Torgs
salesman.
caravan. The traveling caravan that comes through. That's the one that Hill and Trollbane told you guys to keep your eye on.
Yep.
That was her hunch. Is that the murders were following the caravan. So he must have hitched a ride with Torgs.
Where did the
says, "All right."
caravan go?
Yeah, that's exactly what Nerith is asking. He says, did you hear anything about where they were going next? And he says, no, I honestly don't. I don't know. I did. He doesn't say this, but you can tell he was kind of too self-absorbed, and he was just interested in somebody talking to him, and that he didn't really care to ask about too much. But he says, no, I don't
cared
know.
more about the money.
I'm not sure where they went.
Well, goddamn it.
You guys
Where else
telling me
were
there's
there
no
murders?
deeper plot? This is just for money? Kill 2 people for money? Not a lot of it. Not a lot of money either.
Yeah, these guys are just dicks. That's what I'm gathering here.
Or
Glaringly that I've missed.
Yeah, so the question is, are we like done with these 2 assholes, or is
Yeah,
this
I mean,
more of a like have we exhausted all we can because they're just kind of bumbling idiots and we've stumbled into their stupid plot and put a stop to it, and now
Didn't we do what we were asked to do? Like, we stopped the murders from happening.
Dabber, can you give us like a?
Yep. So basically, he says,
Like,
look.
you don't have to explain, but like, should we? Do you think it's worth us continuing to pursue, or should we start?
No, I think that you basically, Nerith will tell you, look, I think you've done quite enough for one night, but if you're truly in service to these people, I'd suggest that you try and trace the path of where you think Tor's caravan would go next, and see if you can catch up to it wherever it is. Where are the murders that you've heard about been happening so far?
good question.
Murders or sacrifices?
Murders.
murders were
Shander
there
and
was
East Haven.
yeah.
Yeah, so you guys know that it happened basically in East Haven about 5 or 6 days ago, and then Bryn Shander 3 or 4 days ago, and then the Targos one here happened 2 or 3 days ago. So
Then
in theory, he
Herman
kind
Lane?
of pulls out a map and he
Shows the
shows.
big map.
Yeah,
Yeah, do we know who died in Bryn Shander?
yeah. So
Who
you
was
know. So yeah, you kind of talked with.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah, so you know it is Brannick, because that's what Hillen, the one that Hillen would have looked into most, because it's right in her backyard, basically.
Okay,
We
so
gotta
we
go to
did know
Bremen,
that was
boys.
Brannick. Okay, cool.
And then
We're going to
Taryn was the one
Yep.
that died in Targos.
Say it again.
Then Taryn was murdered in Targos.
Aaron, yep, the shipbuilder.
Yeah, so that's 2 people from Targos, but the guy Brannick left and went to Bryn Shander, and he got murdered there.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Torque's
then
caravan.
there was a murder in
Going
Bremen
west.
too, right?
Say it again, Ando.
Was there a murder in Bremen too?
There's going to be.
Not
Oh,
yet. You haven't heard anything yet.
So we gotta go
Yeah.
to Bremen. Okay.
Oh, right, because the Bryn Shander murder was first, and then Targo. All right.
East
I'm with you.
Haven, then Bryn Shander, then Targos.
Gotcha. Yeah, Bremen
West.
seems to be a reasonable choice.
Be
Do we want to?
Tourmaline.
Maybe we can go back and see Ma again, just because she's got big hooters, and we want to go check her out one more time,
Ma.
have a drink, see if she knows. See if she knows where they're
I
going.
never know what she's doing back there.
So as you, it's getting pretty late at night here, so you guys head back to the inn to basically, I assume, stay overnight rather than trying to head out tonight. Or what are you guys
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah, get arrested.
It's too dark and cold to head out tonight. I assume.
Yeah, we'll get arrested.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. So you guys head back to, so you're already at, right, the Luskin Arms.
We're at the Luskin Arms already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, so Ma is over at the Three Flag Sailing, so you could go talk to her before you come back and go down for the night, if that's what you're thinking. Or what are you guys thinking?
When we do visit Ma, I need to perform my nightly ritual, which is to look under things for something else.
Gotcha.
Until I find a surprise.
Gotcha. So you guys,
Yeah, is it reasonable, like, to take a walk over to there? Like, it doesn't take
Yep.
too long to walk over there. I
at
assume
least
it's not.
head that direction, because between Town Hall and
I
Three Flag
think if we
Sailing,
try to confirm our suspicions, that they headed this way. Yeah.
Yep. So you head back up that way because you figure between Town Hall and Three Flag Sailing, you'll probably find Ma either opening her tavern back up or still at the Town Hall. So you head that way and you see her just unlocking Three Flag Sailing, and she sees you walking up and she says, "Hey, look who it is! If it isn't the movers and shakers, what happened? I saw you over in the corner with Nerith and kind of drag him out by his ear. What happened?"
That's our troop name, by the way, Movers and Shakers.
What happened? What happened with Nerith after that hubbub at Town Hall?
Yeah. Well, it turns out him and Gath are just a couple of assholes in it for the money, but we did find out there's been connection to some murders with a caravan and a
Oh,
man
you
with some
mean-
blue eyes.
You mean Portaran?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brannick.
Oh, I see. You think that that someone following Torgas is responsible for the murders?
Yep.
Ah,
Did you see him
Interesting.
when they were in town? Do you know which way they went?
Do we know how these people got murdered? Like stabbed or...
You could ask.
Yeah.
I am.
So she says, "Oh yeah, I heard it was pretty grisly. Someone was they basically got stabbed. They had a stab wound in their chest, but there wasn't really a weapon around to be seen. But yeah, Terran Terran was killed in his home, in his bed, I guess, is from what I understood. But yeah, they should basically
Same
tells
way?
you that he had a pretty deep stab wound in his chest, but there was no weapon found.
In both cases,
Mhm.
was there a puddle nearby?
Were there any
Somebody-
like, footprints or anything? Like,
Get body armor.
Yep. So no clues really other than the sort. So yeah, you would have known from Hiln that. Basically that's all that they really know is that they basically both got stabbed in the chest with a stab wound, but no weapon.
icicles.
No. No.
Ice bolt.
So
Perfect
she-
crime.
I wish I could help you more. I'm not sure I saw where Torgs went. I heard people saying that it came from southeast, but I'm not sure where it would have gone from there. Where are you thinking about heading next?
Bremen.
I think Bremen's the answer.
Kind
Yeah.
of a coin flip
Yeah.
for me.
She says that would make sense to me. It'd follow the path, and it's also closest. So in theory, if they didn't go there, it wouldn't be too much of a trip to head back and try another route. So that seems like a solid idea to me.
All right.
She says,
Well, I think it's time for since you're opening them back up. How about a nightcap?
you're speaking her language. She says, I would do anything for heroes like yourself who truly
Ooh.
looking out for
Anything.
looking out for
You want to do body shots?
You motorbait son of a bitch.
Shot.
So she sets you guys up with a quick nightcap and drinks one with you, and then
Sounds
she
good.
says it's getting past my bedtime, so you youngins need to head your way. I'm gonna close up shop here.
This just turned into a whole
Did
different
I
kind of
did I
quest.
find something under something else?
Wow, wow. You find
Yeah.
I was gonna say gum underneath the table. I don't know if they have gum in this
Nice.
universe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Gum
we'll say you find
Arabic.
gum, something gummy.
But as you're like looking under things, you keep going until you end up at Ma's feet, and you look under her skirt and see the biggest dick you've ever seen in your life.
Inappropriate.
Bigger than Pep's icon there in the bottom left.
Right.
So she says good night and thank you so much. I feel like you've saved our town and you've made it quite a bit brighter than we really needed this. So she says I can't thank you enough,
Wonderful.
and I promise I'll do my best for the people for as long as I need to make sure we get a good speaker and we get the help we need.
I'm not sure you can do any worse.
We did it, boys. We installed democracy.
For the CIA.
Yep. Bunch of rogue agents come in from out of town, shake things up,
Yeah.
and unhinge the government.
Yep. Classic.
So you guys head back to the Luskin Arms again and shack up for the night.
I believe so. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So you guys get your room and we will. So it's pretty quiet. You get a room and things go. So the night goes mostly quietly except for Ras. So Ras, in the middle of the night, you have a dream. You dream you're on a boat rocking gently on the waves, and slowly but surely you kind of wake up when it nudges into a coastline and it stops. And
Is it
you,
is it like wintry in my dream?
Yep. Yeah, so it's wintry in your dream, and you wake up, and basically the boat you're in that kind of rocked you to sleep stops, and kind of nudges, and you kind of feel it lodge into a coastline of some sort.
Do I have
So what do you
control in
do?
my dream?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I get up and I look around the shoreline.
Gotcha. So you can see you're kind of in a frozen island, or what looks like a frozen island. Looks like it's kind of like slush, slowly making like sand, like making a coast out of the island, and your boat has kind of lodged itself in the frozen coast there.
Do I recognize this island from previous dreams?
Yeah, you vaguely remember having something like this in the past, but before you haven't really been able to put two and two together, so you're not quite sure. You vaguely remember something like this before, but never quite in this level of detail.
Okay. I slowly approach the beach and put both feet on the beach,
Huh?
and then I sprint forward for like 100 feet and then stop.
Gotcha. So nothing really happens, but as you stop sprinting, you kind of see some shapes off in the distance.
I hate shapes.
So nothing really happens. You kind of stop and look for a while, but nothing moves, nothing changes.
I spin around and just I want to take in everything about this island.
Gotcha. So you look around. There's not too much to look at other than the frozen shapes that you can see. It seems like it's a pretty large island. You're not quite sure there's anything really off in the distance other than the shapes nearby.
I pursue the shapes slowly, sneakily.
So you walk up, and as you get closer, you can tell that they look like ice sculptures that are kind of eerily accurate. You see animals, you see humanoid shapes, kind of all shapes and sizes.
Approximately how many of these are there?
Looks like maybe 15, 20, kind of all in relatively neat rows, kind of like they were almost put on display.
Are they like life size?
Yep, they're all life size.
Do I recognize any of them?
So as you walk up a little bit closer, you kind of look, and you can see that kind of deeper in the ice, it looks like they actually were living things at one point that kind of got frozen in place. And as you realize this, you hear snow crunching behind you.
I turn around to look.
You try to, but you can't seem to move. It seems like you're kind of frozen. You hear heavy breathing coming closer and closer behind you.
Can I divine sense? I know I'm in a dream, but
Yeah, I think
if
you can.
if I was
You
in
sense-
reality, that's what I would try to do.
you sense evil behind you, but you don't seem. So yeah, you sense something celestial behind you, and you hear heavy breathing coming up behind you, and you try and keep moving, and but you seem frozen in space, and then you feel a hand touch you on the shoulder, and then you wake up.
Chilling. I'm chilled.
Very chilling.
And
Very
we'll
chill.
call it there for this session.
So I wake up from the hand.
Yep, you wake up from the dream.
It's
And you're
just
in your
about to
room.
get
Am I?
good.
Nothing
Are
bad
things
happened.
things are relatively normal around me?
Yep, you do your nightly ritual of laying sideways off the
Yeah,
bed.
Yep. Shoulders cold.
I'm perpendicular. Hands are on the floor.
Yep, yeah, you feel like your shoulder is definitely colder than the rest of you.
Spooky. I warm it up.
You just didn't have your blanket pulled up high enough.
Turns out it was you were cuddling with Silnan,
Mhm.
and he was just kind of drooling
Isn't
on
that
your shoulder.
nuts how things like from reality blend into your dreams like that?
Mhm.
And there's no other significance whatsoever?
Not yet.
Spooky, dude.
All right, we'll call it there for tonight.
Okay, I might have some questions about the dream, but I won't I won't
Yep, it's just
extract.
you
I won't
for right
extract
now.
too
Know
much
about it.
more detail than what we got.
Yep. Sounds
Cool.
good.
Awesome.
I'll think
Nice
about
one.
it. I'll think about it.
Well,
I'll think about it.
We installed a democracy.
Mhm. The CIA would be proud.
Stop some murders.
So proud.
Mhm.
Nice work, guys.
Well
Sick.
played.
Is this? Did you have a lot more planned, and we just like really went down a side quest? Daibu?
I had more prepared just in case you guys kind of skimmed over it, but so I
Okay.
didn't necessarily expect you to go that in depth. But hey, it is what it is.
Mhm.
It went well.
Yes.
I'm pretty happy with that.
And the plan is what, Bremen next time, or what's the name of this place?
Never had to Bremen.
Yeah.
And is to head up to Bremen Northwest
Okay,
first thing in the morning.
I'm game.
Wonderful.
Good.
Sounds good.
Fuck it. Everybody take off work tomorrow morning. Let's just do it tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right.
Not against that.
Yeah. Darn.
Ah,
Shoot, okay.
nah.
Well played, guys. I
Cool.
I enjoyed
Yeah,
that
good
quite a
work.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
GG's, guys.
That's
Talk
interesting.
Not
to you guys
awesome.
later.
All right,
man.
Diber, I'm
See
gonna
you guys.
upload this tonight, and I'll get you the link.
Sounds good.
All right, fellas.
All right,
Night,
night,
everybody.
fellas.